Guess what's happening in the British Parliament now? The mother of all parliaments, the home of the protectors of Church of England and the English constitution that created the Act of Union and our kingdom. There's a problem here right now. This is about the Islamic prayer being performed in Parliament. We've got a couple of videos to show you guys. Before we do that, we need to clarify. I don't really care about individual humans and people's faiths or religions or ideologies. It could be whatever you want. You could be a Muslim, it could be a Christian, it could be a Jew, it could be this, it could be that, it could be a commie if you want to. But we have to be clear about the role of religions and faiths that they have in society. One impact is about the individual person's personality, behavior, and the culture of the person, depending on what they are. If they're a Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, it changes your behavior. But you can still put that aside when you come out in public. You can. The other impact of these religions is, of course, when it comes to the wider society as a collective. Whatever the actual majority is, it will shape the behavior of the nation, the tribe. The third one is more important than all the others. Whether you like it or not, whether you're an atheist, agnostic, or religious, or theist, whatever. Based on the established religions that we had since Abraham, that's how most of our countries and structures of our societies have been built on. In the West, it's the Judeo-Christian values. In the Middle East, mostly it's the Islamic culture. The political structure is important because it's linked to these religions, right? So when you have Church of England, whether you like it or not, whether you're a Catholic and you disagree with Church of England, it is a foundation of the structure of the constitution, parliamentary democracy and everything we have here. If you undermine that, unless you have an alternative, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. When you slowly introduce, in the name of diversity, Islamic prayers in the House of Commons, in the House of Parliament, and you're at the same time undermining church, this is not really me taking the Christianity side over Islam. It's simply about the political structure and our constitution. You need to have a plan. Otherwise, the whole country is going to go down. Watch this. So this is the APPG for British Muslims, and there are APPGs for everything in Parliament. It's a free mother of all parliaments. You could do whatever you want, technically speaking. The problem we have, for example, if you end up having Christian preachers, even on the street, doing a similar thing, they get arrested. There's a double standards here to point out. I have no problem with individuals who happen to be Muslim or Christian or Jewish or whatever they are. You could do whatever you want. It's a free society. The problem is we've gone too soft in the name of secular liberal democracy that we've decided to go secular when it comes to moving away from Christianity or church, which is basically the foundation of our constitution. But so we created a blank canvas. Now it's been filled. Of course it's going to be filled. I don't blame the Islamic community for trying to now fill that gap, because not many people go to church anymore. Even the atheists or agnostic people or whatever they are, they're not even defending at least the constitution. You don't have to defend church, but at least you could defend the values that created our parliamentary democracy. But again, this is the guy who did this for this APPG in Parliament, for the APPG for Muslims, is the same guy who also did it at the Villa Park, the stadium for Aston Villa, for, of course, Ramadan. There's a reason that a lot of people are looking at what's happening. For example, when it comes to mosques, there are thousands of mosques obviously being created across the Western Europe, but we're talking about in this country. And when they are seeing the Islamic community doing mass prayers on the street, where the Christians, on the other hand, you know, if it's just one person, they get arrested by the police. I don't blame the people of this country for getting at least confused and say that this isn't normal, is it? Forget about those who just get completely outraged and say, this doesn't look good. This is just bad. We're being taken over. Forget about that. There's still a lot of people who just say, is this normal? What is going on? People can see the double standards of policing and the justice system. And there are people who say, well, why do they have to do this? When you have all these mosques, why do they have to pray on the streets? It clearly is a show of force and strength, saying we are united. We are actually strong. In Britain, the Islamic community, we are growing. I don't blame them. They are growing because the Christianity has been undermined. And what do we have to do? You have to defend your values. You have to have a conversation. If people are ashamed of being British, people are being ashamed of even standing up for the Christian values, then what's the point? Of course they're going to lose. Anglophobia is on the rise, and nobody in the political establishment or the mainstream media is talking about this. And if those, what they call themselves, the moderate Western Muslims, who are basically almost not practicing Muslims, they're just born culturally into an Islamic family, if they come out and if they start speaking out or defend our values, then we might have a chance. But we're not really getting many of them. That's the problem.